Hey guys, how's it going? Shockwve, and this is I'm gonna show you a video on how to edit Poi textures. This also works for basically any Unity game, but I'm gonna demo it using Poi. I was requested to do this using Poi. You're gonna need two different programs. One is required, one you can switch out for a different type. You need Unity Assets Explorer. There'll be a download link to it in the description, and some kind of image editor that can edit .tex.dds. If you need to know, that extension is this. That is the extension you need to edit. This one up here. It needs to be able to edit that texture specifically. So what you're going to need, so we're going to need open Unity Assets Explorer. Now this is pretty straightforward. There's one major thing I'm going to stress a lot when it gets there, but for now we'll just go ahead and just do everything normally. So when you open Unity Assets Explorer, open assets file, resources.assets. You can go through these other ones. There's not really anything interesting in here. Resources.assets has all of the important stuff in it. So we're going to open that. I'm just going to do a file that I know works. You can experiment and try a bunch of other files that you want. Typically the easiest ones to edit, I'll go ahead and extend this out, are actually these types of files, texture 2D files. So I'm going to use the girl diffuse file. This one. So after you go through all these images and you find the file that you want to edit, go ahead and extract that file. And it will show up in a folder wherever you're running Unity Assets Explorer with the same name as the assets file you opened. So I opened resources.assets. It's going to be in a file called resources. And I did this earlier. I ended up extracting everything and just kind of going through things slowly and figuring out what was there. I'm going to look for the girl diffuse.tex.dds file. Again, it has to be the .tex.dds. Do not edit the .tex file. It will not work that way. So open this one in your image editor. I'm using paint.net. This one it works okay. You can use whatever image editor you want. Probably Photoshop is the preferred, but I'm going to use paint.net for this tutorial. So you can see this is the way I've already done a texture edit. I'll do another texture edit just to show that it's changing. But you can go through this file. You can kind of find out where everything is. Her face is here. Fingers are here. Pants are here. Bag is here. So actually, I'll add something to the bag just for the sake of this tutorial. We'll add... Let's get a paintbrush. Let's get some colors. So I'm going to get black... Actually, I'll get purple. We'll draw a purple circle. We'll fill it in. Cool. We'll make it look a little better at least since it's a standard texture mod, whatever. And then we'll get this. I'll draw my own fake little snatcher badge. If you've played Hat in Time, you know kind of what that is. So that's my texture mod. You just got to draw it on there. Just be aware. So for things like her pants... this ends up being her left pocket, her back left pocket. This will just get mirrored onto the other side. So it will use this axis right here, and it will just mirror it on the other axis. So imagine, just for demonstration purposes. Whoops, hold up. So imagine that it did something like this. Whoops. I guess I can't. It won't let me do that. Whatever. I guess it won't let me do it. But imagine that it flips it on this. Whoopsies. Holy crap. This is really going bad. So it's going to flip it on this axis right here. So this thing will get mirrored onto that axis right there. But when you're done doing whatever texture edits you want to file, save as, save it as the same file name. It has to be the same file name. Now, this is the important step. Notice this file size of the original file. Notice my new file's file size. These have to match identically. If they do not match, your texture will not be inserted into the assets file. That is because the way this file is compressed, it needs to have the exact byte size in order for the game to read everything else properly. So again, I'm going to stress this enough. These numbers have to match. Unity Assets Explorer will not let you insert another file that is not the same file size, so at least that will stop you from making a mistake. but it doesn't change that these files will have to be exact. Mess around with some settings. For Paint.net, this is what I use to get a lot of these working. Some of the other images require different settings. For diffuses, which is model textures, I use these settings and it works fine. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And to reinsert your newly edited image, right-click on the image that you had extracted, import this file from DDS. This is why the file name needs to be identical. Done. So since I didn't have an improper texture size, so I'm just going to demonstrate so that way you can see why they have to match. So I'm going to turn off this, and you can see the file size will be different. And you can see now this is different. So I'm going to import this file. Wrong size DDS. Again, these files have to match. So I'm going to go ahead and file, save as that, and I'm going to return on the bitmaps. And then I'm going to re-import my file. All right, so now that's imported, save your assets file as the same file name you started with. Replace it. You can back up your old one if you want. And now it's done. So now let's go ahead and launch Poi. And we'll demonstrate that my new snatcher bag is a thing. Whoops. Well, okay. Well, I guess we're going to have to do it this way. I apologize for this. I did not mean to do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get out of this menu. Main menu. Okay. And play. Slot 1. Alright, so now I'm going to load up the girl texture. I didn't edit the boy texture, so it hasn't changed. But now if I go to here and select the girl texture, alright, you can see now the new snatcher bag is in fashion, and she has swag pants now. So that's really all you have to do. And this will not crash the game since the texture's been properly mapped around the model. You can see I can do whatever I want. I can do this. I can slide on walls. I'm not used to controlling this with keyboard, so I apologize. Let's see if I can get on this area and I can do a roll just to kind of show other animations working. So there, so that works. So you don't have to worry about it anymore, but that's how you do texture swapping. So again, you can do whatever texture swaps you want. It really doesn't matter, but again, just to kind of recap, open with Unity Assets Explorer, find your texture, open the tex.dds file in your image editor, make whatever changes you want, save it in a way that makes it the exact same file size, re-import it here, and then save your assets file as the same name as you started as. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to at me on Twitter. It's at Shockwve with no A. That will be in the description as well. Send me a PM on YouTube. You can. I don't think you can do that anymore. Never mind. You could try messaging me on Twitch. Same thing as my Twitter handle. I prefer an ad on Twitter. It's easier for me to get a hold of that. Comments are okay. I'll try to respond to those. But that's it. If you have any questions, again, just contact me and take care.